there is still bad blood between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. And I think I saw literal blood from Mr. CM Punk yesterday. Drew McIntyre coming out full effect with vengeance, upset about the result that happened out there at Bash at Berlin, losing the strap match to CM Punk. CM Punk cutting a promo, noting that he has bigger fish to fry in his mind. He wants to go for the title, but Drew letting him know like this is not done. And Drew, you know, as Jordy predicted, I got to give him his credit, completely destroyed this beautiful bracelet that somebody made in summer camp for CM Punk, and completely destroyed, putting the beads down his mouth. Um, I've been on the record saying that to the build with Bash was a little lukewarm about it because I think a lot of it was a little formulaic. I wasn't super excited about the strap match, and I thought a lot of it was geared towards the bracelet. The bracelet's out the way now, and it seems like it's a lot more personal. And what Drew has been the star of the few that times, like the initial time when he beat CM Punk down, to the build prior, and to this one too, just leaving him a bloody mess, as y'all Brits like to call it, a bloody mess. And I loved it, man. I thought it was the highlight of the show, in my opinion. I love just this type of nth degree when we get to it. I'm gonna kick it off to you first, Chaos. What are your thoughts in regards to everything that happened last night between Drew and CM Punk?
I loved it. I mean, I knew that it was too good to be true. When Punk said he was good, he wants to move down the business. He wanted, and he kind of stole a Jay Z line. I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man. Like, and he just wants to go for the title and whatnot. But yeah, I knew that this is gonna ultimately culminate at Bad Blood, and there's because it's 1-1 right now, pretty much. And Yeah, I'm here for it. And what a way to actually make this even more personal. Not only did you rip up the beads, or the bracelet, you shoved it in his mouth and gave him a claymore kick on top of it, and then also further assaulted him, tried to gouge his eyes out. Funny enough, like before this, literally about the night before, I've been watching the Punisher, that was on Netflix, but now on Disney Plus. And I don't know if you guys seen it, but in the second to last episode of the last of the first season, the Punisher does a very similar thing. Obviously, it was more gorier and all that stuff, and I was just like, that always stuck in my head. And the fact that McIntyre actually tried to do the same thing to Punk was just like, oh wow, he definitely probably watched the same episode that I did. But yeah, I'm glad that it's happening. I think 100% that their match is going to be at Hell in a Cell. I think out of all the feuds that are going on right now, that match warrants it. And obviously, they brought back this pay per view for a reason. I'm here for it. I think ultimately Punk is going to be the one that will walk away from this as the ultimate, the overall winner. And then obviously probably I think I will pencil him against Gunther for Survivor Series. That's who I think that I think that's why I think they're going to go down. And definitely, I mean, Gunther on CM Punk on Gunther's list will be a nice little niche or notch on his whatever that term is on his helmet. I don't know what I'm going on, but yeah, either way, loved it. Beautiful build up. I agree with you, Shad, about the build up to it was a bit to the strap match was a bit formulaic. I really wish they did a dog collar match. I don't know what it is with WWE and against dog collar matches. I know they did one in NXT UK in front of zero people, and I don't count that. I feel like that match should have been more a dog collar match than a strap match, but it was still fun when watching it in Berlin. But um, but yeah, Hell in a Cell, be all and all. After CM Punk wins, Drew needs to go away for a while, and then CM Punk keeps on, keeps on his path to go to eventually hopefully get some gold around his waist. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think all three of us actually are like some of the rare people maybe on our team that are big CM Punk guys. I
Hmm.
I've always rocked with Phil. I mean, I don't care about the politics stuff aside. The performer and even the man, outside pro wrestling in ways too. I get him, and I think he's great, and I think he's great for business. And I think him and Drew have really created a great storyline. And but I do agree with you. I think once this is done, I think we can give Drew a little bit of a break. Make us kind of re-miss him again. But he
He's had a hot, he's had a hot 9 months. Like since Rumble, he's been consistent. So yeah, he's done well. So yeah, he deserves a break out of anyone, pretty much, definitely.
Nah, for sure. I mean, especially this, re uh invention of his character, right? Going heel. And man, I even say this, like I think Kobe said it yesterday when we was talking. He was like, if it really, I think a key word was like, this is an end until one of us is either like on a different brand or just completely retired. It'd be cool to see Drew hop on the SmackDown and be a potential,
Hmm.
like, maybe not right out the gate. Obviously, Cody's a little busy, but I think really benefit having Cody could benefit one of these storylines that's going on in Raw right now. Like, he doesn't have a blood feud just yet, and I think Drew has shown that he can really create that. But that's neither here or there. We'll wait and see. I'm gonna open the floor to you, Jordy. What are your thoughts in regards to everything CM Punk and Drew McIntyre?
I'm a fan of it. Like I said, I was waiting for the bracelet to snap. I'm glad it finally has, and I think it does just ignite this feud back to where it should be. I'm very much in agreement with you guys that it was a bit formulaic leading up to the strap match. The strap match, I will say, was. I'll even say it was better than what I thought it was going to be. Not that I had doubts about Punk and Drew's ability to put on a good match, and there was little moments like the strap kept falling off, but all in all I enjoyed the match, and I wasn't sure whether I was massively going to, so I did, and they did a good job there. I'm happy that we're getting the kind of rubber match with them having one each. I think it does need to be there. I think it does need to be a Hell in a Cell. Well, not need to be a Hell in a Cell, but I think it would be great if it was. And very much like you guys, yeah, Drew. That was the question for me, where Drew goes after this. I think Punk and Gunther at Survivor Series is a great shout. I wouldn't actually be mad about the fact. I'd like to see Seth come back at that point and cost Punk the title, because it'd be a year since Punk returned at Survivor Series and Seth was in the ring, like absolutely livid about what happened. I would love for Punk versus Gunther, Seth to do something and cost Punk the match, and then Seth to be stood at the top of the ramp and have Punk going crazy in the ring trying to get at him and flip that, because I don't think we've seen the end of that yet. And in terms of Drew being on SmackDown, I agree. I think it would be great, but I still think that the big money match in this feud is a triple threat between Seth, Punk, and Drew. I think you can have great matches individually, one on ones, but I think maybe at Mania is if they can stretch it that long, and maybe you give Drew a break and that's how you do it, bring him back at the Rumble or something like that. But I would like to see all three of those guys tangle up in a match rather than Seth kind of be there as a ref, because when I got the taste of them three in the ring together, I just get a feeling that they could put something brilliant on. And we've seen a few good triple threat matches at Manias in recent years, so I'd be all for that.
Nah, I like that standpoint. I mean, Seth is definitely in the equation somehow whenever he does return. Obviously, I do believe he is banged up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That man, like, he was working a lot, so he definitely deserves the rest. But Punk and Gunther was obviously teased yesterday, and I got excited when I heard him name drop Gunther and going for his title, because I think Punk is like the perfect opponent for Gunther in regards to building a storyline.
Mm-hmm.
We I think Gunther as a character is phenomenal. I think as an in-ring wrestler, he's one of the best, if not the best in the world. Now it's time to get him to that next level, right? Like, can can he be a dominant presence like what Roman does, and or even like what Cody is, where the storytelling, the storylines, and everything like that is mapped into it. I know he's had that prior within NXT UK, NXT, but it hasn't been on the big stage, and I don't think he's had a storyline or a person that can paint a storyline to the big stage just yet. And I think Punk is something that can get him to the next level where I think he probably beat Punk, right? But Punk is gonna, that Punk's one of the best. He's, if not the best on the mic of all time. He's gonna add some different, and he's gonna know how to work with a character like Gunther. So, I'm hoping we do see that. I know a lot of people are gonna be a little like, I don't want Punk to be near the title. You utilize your names for the best reason. This is why WWE handles what they gotta do. You
Mm.
guys want to say on that, chaos?
No, no, I thoroughly agree. I don't see why the hate is against Punk. I mean, that guy is still a draw, and I feel like if the injury never happened, he'd probably be champ right now, or like until Gunther took it. So I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if they gave the title to Punk, and then eventually we get Seth against Punk, because that's what everyone that's the money match. That's what everyone's looking forward to. So um,
Further
it's
to
yeah.
what you said as well, Shad, it's in terms of creating that character within Gunther. I was on about this in the chat earlier. I think we're always going to struggle to do that when he's always got a belt in his hand. I want to see him get into a meaningful feud that doesn't involve the belt, because as good as the storyline is and can be, the storyline is always you're the champion and I want to be the champion. That's,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? And his good gimmick is very much I am better than you. And when you're the champion, you kind of can say that to whoever you want until you drop the belt. So I would just like to see. I don't want to see Gunther become this guy that as soon as he gets the belt, we say, right, we'll say goodbye to that belt for 200 plus days now because Gunther's got it. I just don't want him to be stuck in that. I want to see him in something where it's like, oh damn, he's in this really meaningful feud without having a belt involved.
You don't want it to be the male Charlotte.
Exactly. No,
Yeah.
and we're gonna get to the next topic in a second. I will say this one last thing. I think that is the most important point you just made, and we did talk about it earlier. Um, Not every storyline has to be the same exact storyline or the same exact reign for him. I know he's dominant. I know the allure is the fact that he's a big, strong, competitor and whatnot. Adversity happens. The bad guy takes losses at times, right? So knocking him off a peg, having a piece of humble pie from CM Punk out of all the people, like that really, will build something up. But we'll have to wait and see